Leadership Nation, Christopher Hart here with Transforming Lives Coaching and Consulting, coming to you today with another one of our Lead Strong Leadership video series where we look to increase the influence, thus the impact that leaders have on their people, on their environments, and hopefully the world around you. So thank you for joining me today. If you're watching this live on Facebook Live, thank you for joining. Feel free to join in, ask questions, comment your ahas, give us some thumbs up, hearts, faces, whatever you do. And if you're watching this on replay on YouTube, feel free to give us some thumbs up or like the video if you like it. And feel free to comment. Allow us to continue the journey of coaching you online while you continue the journey of your leadership. So today's video is titled, "The One Gift That Every Leader Can Give Their People." We believe there's one gift that if you give your people this gift, I promise you will exponentially increase your influence on them. You exponentially will increase your impact that you have on them, their life, their achievement, and that which they can accomplish. And what is that? To be responsible. Right? And you know what this looks like, right? Parents out there, you may have asked yourself, or said to yourself, I just wish my kids were what? More responsible. Leaders, organizational leaders. You may have said this to yourself, I just wish my people were what? More responsible. And so what are we really saying when we desire to have people that are more responsible? You see, I think people don't fully understand what they wish for a lot of times. And I believe responsible people is one that they don't really understand what they're wishing for. Because if you understood really what you're looking for, then what that does is it actually identifies the three fingers that are pointing back at you. Because when you say, I wish that person was more responsible, what's happening is when you understand the definition of responsible, you're going to be staring right back at those three fingers that are pointing back at you. And here's why. Because responsibility, I believe, comes as a gift from leaders. If you're saying, I wish my kids were more responsible, what you're saying is, as their leader, as their parent, I have failed to impart on them the gift of responsibility. You're hoping that or wishing that they came pre-wired or something you've done along the way has worked, and the reality is you're identifying it hasn't. Same thing with organizational leaders. When you say, I just wish people would be more responsible for what they're supposed to be doing. Well, what you're saying is, the message behind the statement there is that they lack responsibility, and responsibility is a gift from a leader. A good leader possesses the ability to cause people to be responsible. So let's take a look at it. And like anything we've ever done, if you've watched my videos, you know that we look to define the actual meanings of words. That way we don't dilute them in our perceptions. And we're going to do that with the word responsible. And so what we understand is that responsible is a conjunctive word. It's a word where two separate words come together to create a greater meaning. And what are those two words? Response and able. Okay? Now you're saying, well, Chris, that's not how you spell able. I know, but the English language, when the two words come together, that's how this is spelled. But what you're actually looking at here is response and able, where they come together for someone to be responsible. Now, response. What does response mean? Response is nothing more than how somebody reacts. Okay? It's real simple. How somebody reacts. Your response, your reaction to something. If I say a funny joke, your response or your reaction is to laugh. Ha ha ha. Okay? So response is react. Ability is defined as the possession of power, skill, or information to accomplish something. Okay? The capacity to possess power, skill, or knowledge in order to accomplish something. So what we look at here right? If this is react, what we're saying here is when you want someone to be responsible, or if they lack responsibility, they lack the ability to properly respond. They lack the possession of power, knowledge, or skill to accomplish the proper response. They lack the possession, skill, or ability, the power, skill, or ability to react in the manner in which your expectations hold them accountable to. Okay? And so, if they don't possess that, then that's on you as the leader to train them, to program them to possess the ability to have that possession of power, knowledge, or skill to react to certain circumstances in the way in which you expect, whether as an organizational leader or as a parent. Okay? Because what you're saying here is if you expect your kids to clean their room, make their bed, eat their, do their chores, eat their vegetables, whatever, every single day, that's your expectation. The world throws all sorts of stimuli at them, and in the moment, why? Because they got cell phones, they got laptops, they got everything that distracts them, and their friends tweet them, snap them, and do whatever else that they do every single day. So they get distracted, and so they react in the manner in which they want to react as a teenager, right? Where their hormones and their emotions are all over the place, and they totally forget that the way they're supposed to react every day is wake up, clean their room, make their bed, eat breakfast, be healthy, brush your teeth, brush your hair, and look presentable. And then they come home, and they still have tartar on their teeth, they didn't brush their hair, they were in the same clothes as yesterday, and you go, man, my kids are not responsible. Turn my head for a minute, and they don't do the right thing. So what we look at as leaders is to give people a gift of the ability to react to circumstances in their life. Here's why this is important. Your life is not defined by the experiences or events that happen around you. There's going to be so many things in your life and your people's life you can't control. Parents, there's going to be so many things in your kid's life you can't control. If you want to raise great kids, the world is full of evil. You can't hide them from evil. You can teach them how to be responsible around evil ways, wrongdoings. How do they react to those environments? When they're listening to the radio and a word that you don't choose to use in your own home is heard, you don't immediately just turn the channel. You teach them how to react to that. You teach them how to react that when they're hungry and their friends want to go to McDonald's and you want them to be healthy, that's not a good choice. Because what we understand about life is you cannot control the events, situations, and circumstances around you all the time. The only thing you can control is yourself. And in controlling yourself, it's a matter of how do you react? What abilities do you possess to react to the world around you, to the events, to the experiences, to the circumstances? You can't control whether a loved one comes down with a disease, but you can control how you react to that. You can feel sorry for a day or two, but then you have to stand up and empower yourself. You see, being responsible is the possession, the ability of a power, knowledge, or skill to react in an empowering way. Okay? An empowering way, meaning whatever empowering looks like for you, the ability or skill, that's defined as empowering. You see how all these words start to come together? That you react in an empowering way in accordance with either expectations of others, desires for your life, or goals that you desire to achieve. Okay? So it's either expectations, right? Desires, hey, this is how I desire to live my life. This is what an ideal life looks like for me. Desires, expectations, or goals. Okay? If my goal is, to make $500,000 this year and something happens in my life, if I just sit there and feel sorry for myself, that's not going to empower me to my goal. So I need to possess the ability to react in an empowering way that's going to lead to any one of these three. Somebody else's expectations, your own desires, or your own defined or someone else's goals for you, your life, and your existence within their organization. So here's what we understand about this. When somebody possesses the ability to process their world around them, good, bad, or indifferent, and if it's indifferent or it's quote unquote bad, when they possess the ability to react in an empowering way that leads them to meet expectations, desires, and goals, they are now responsible. You see, leaders, it's not the world's responsibility to create responsibility within your people. Parents, it's not anybody's responsibility but yours. Your own ability to react in an empowering way to teach your children how to also react in an empowering way that meets life's expectations, that meets a desire for their life, and maybe goals that they have for their life. See, leaders, when you give your people this gift, what you're giving them is the ability to control their own life. And when they have the ability to control their own life, then they get to dictate and choose the results that show up. Because once again, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. And when you react in an empowering way and you possess that skill and ability to do so, nothing can get in your way. Because you know how to react in an empowering way to meet the expectations, desires, and goals that either you set forth or someone else sets forth for you. See, leaders, when your people possess responsibility, you then have influenced them and impacted them at a very high and deep level that will allow them to achieve that which they desire in their life. And in turn, you become the vehicle to their success, which then their perception of you as a leader is much greater than anyone else might have seen to be. And when that happens, I promise you, your people won't leave you. You will attract followers like never before because you possess the ability to show others how to react in an empowering way to meet these three things. And when those three things show up, people become successful and you become the vehicle to their success. So hopefully this brought value to not just your business and organizations, but also your life, yourself, your families, etc. I'd love to hear your ahas. I'd love to hear your comments. And if you have questions about this, please feel free to ask. We'd be glad to continue to join the journey. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you like the video, give us a like. Click on the like button. Give us some comments below. And if you have anything that you want to add that you believe will add value to our community, we'd be glad to welcome your comments in the comments section. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the blue bell if you watch on Facebook, which, by the way, these videos are only going to be up for 48 hours before we take them off of Facebook and put them on our YouTube channel or our website, transforminglivescoaching.com. If I can help you in your leadership or coaching journey, feel free to reach out to me, Chris, at transforminglivescoaching.com. Thank you for joining me today. Remember one thing. God loves you, so do I. Lead strong and have a powerful rest of your day. Be blessed.